What happened to America where we walked away from the niceties of debate?
Well, the United States Senate used to be the greatest deliberative body in the world. And obviously, a lot of people are anxious about where the deliberation is today. It's changed. It's really changed. I think what happened is in the 1990s, our politics changed. It became far angrier, far more intense, far more personal. You remember the discussions of the politics of personal destruction. And now we have a lot of angry people who are appropriately angry on either side of the aisle, right, left, and they just don't feel the government's delivering to them, and we have to change that.
How does the U.S. lead with such disunity at home?
Oh, I think President Biden is showing you how he lead right now. He's in Asia and meeting with the Quad. He's been leading on global climate change around the world. Yeah. He put America back put the United States back into the Paris Agreement, helped raise ambition in Glasgow, make Glasgow a success. You know, I think people understand that we had 4 difficult years. The country decided that was an aberration and elected President Biden. Right. And now we're in the busy building back process. Right. But I think we've made a lot of progress in the last year.
The helicopter flying over says GOP on the side of it. I think that's what's going on right now.
I don't know.
Senator Kerry, I want to talk to you about climate. I was blown away a number of years ago with the Bank of America people. You are not another face talking climate. You're not another celeb talking climate. You've actually leaned over the desk in Boston and said, I got to learn the math. I got to learn the statistics. It's been knocked asunder by the price of coal, by this war in Ukraine. What is your strategy to sustain our focus on climate change, given the tumult is measured by the price of coal?
Well, President Biden is determined that over the course of the next months, we're going to get ready for the next meeting by trying to raise ambition around the world. We are very busy right now working with specific countries, Indonesia, Vietnam, South Africa, India, to bring capital to the table, to bring the finance and the technology to help them be able to deploy to meet the goals of the Glasgow-Paris Agreement. But in addition to that, we have to work to get the trillions of dollars deployed. This is going to cost literally trillions of dollars in order to effect the transition. And the way that we can do that is by bringing various players to the table, philanthropy, to help blend the finance. Yeah. So you have people taking first risk, people who are de-risking the investment. And hopefully, there are a lot of folks doing that. We have companies that are now signing up. On Wednesday, we'll be making a major announcement with Bill Gates, with Mark Benioff of Salesforce, others, of CEOs who are directing their companies to become first movers. They're creating demand in the marketplace. Ordering 10% of the steel Volvo or Ford Motor Company will buy is going to be green steel. Cement, the largest cement dealer in the world, Folsom Lafarge, is producing green cement. I mean, there's just a whole range of things in aluminum, in carbon removal,
Senator,
in shipping, in aviation.
We only have a couple minutes left, and I do want to get your sense.
Yeah.
On gas, you've talked about natural gas being central to the transition to a greener future, but not talked about investing over the next 30 to 40 years because you're hoping to transition away from that. How do you dovetail the now into the future?
I think it's critical that lending institutions that have a vast amount of capital involved in the fossil fuel industry begin to demand more from that industry. It is appropriate, I think, to have a gas transition for some period of time while you bring technology to scale that is going to change altogether what we're doing. There's an enormous amount of research right now, and frankly, there's about $1 trillion of venture capital already moving towards these new technologies: green hydrogen, longer battery storage, direct air carbon capture, green hydrogen. I mean, there are things that are going to just change the way businesses do business, and that's going to be part of this revolution. I think we're looking at, and I don't think this is exaggeration, we're looking at the largest economic opportunity and transformation since the Industrial Revolution, and this will be bigger because every nation in the world is going to have to move to a clean, new energy economy and future.
I want to center back here in the final question to the future of the Democratic Party. What we have seen is a centrist Joe Biden, and you as a centrist John Kerry, overrun by a rigid, progressive, or liberal wing of the Democratic Party. What is your counsel as they maybe lose the House, maybe lose the Senate, who knows, or the White House, but what is the counsel you have to liberals who will not bend as you have spent a career bending?
Well, I like to think I haven't always been. I find the compromise where you can and you need to. But you have to be reasonable, obviously, and you have to recognize, I mean, the old saying in Washington, don't let the good, don't let the perfect become the enemy of the good. You have to find a compromise. That's the nature of legislating. If you decide you want to be a legislator, do that. And we need to move in that direction. But I'm not in the politics of the back and forth now. I'm trying to bring people together, Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, to understand that this crisis is existential, doesn't have a political label. It's universal. It's not a bilateral issue between China and the United States. It is existential for everybody on the planet, and we need to be smarter about coming to solutions. The best way you get there is through, winning an election, but then also compromising to find a path forward.